Hello, I'm BJ Bishop. Welcome to the channel, and welcome to the New York Mets Dynasty simulation. 2 months in the books, although it doesn't look like it on paper, or at least record-wise. I feel like we are getting better on paper. 26 and 33, so gotten a little worse over the past month, I believe. Although it looks really bad here, 17 games out of the division, it's not really that bad. We're only 2.5 games out of a wild card spot. So really, it's us with tons of other teams, kind of all in the same spot here, competing for the last wild card. So we're not completely out of it. I mean, as you can see here, Cincinnati's in it currently with a losing record. So the NL is a handful of good teams, and then just a bunch of mediocre teams. And we're part of that. We're now pretty much completely healthy, so it's difficult to blame health going forward. So heading to the summer, I'm expecting better play from both the lineup and the pitching, especially now that we got 2 months worth of data to start kind of figuring out who has what it takes and who doesn't. Of course, there's still going to be players who are playing below their career average and some guys who are playing above their career average. That's just how it works in baseball. But for the most part, you get a pretty good picture, and makes it easier to set the lineup. Doesn't look too good here, although I feel like we're playing better than that. There's some games I feel like we're right there competing with the really good teams. What I am happy is at least the starters' ERA is improving to 8th, so middle of the pack. Bullpen ERA's dropped a lot. But bullpen's always playing around, constantly trying to figure out the best group of guys. Because you got to think there's 8 different pitchers involved in a bullpen, so it's always a little game with figuring out who goes where and who does what. But it's not all terrible. Strikeouts were 5th. Defensive errors, we're kind of committing a little more errors than I would like to see. You can't be giving away, bases or runs by making some mistakes here when you're a mediocre team. As usual, this part is going to be first. It's just how I play, so it's always going to be up there at top 3 worst, I believe. But outside of that, it's not, it's all doom and gloom despite a losing record, thanks to the entire NL being so bad. Let's take a look at our new lineup and how we're going about it. I did call up some guys, send some guys down. That's just part of the season. Some guys get traded away. We can actually go look at that. Let's see if we can just. I think I should be able to look at the transaction log. Yes. We are looking for what we did in June. So I did purchase the contract of third baseman Addison Barger. The reason why I find this important is he was a trade from Toronto. I think he's good. He was tearing up the minor leagues. Currently with us, I wasn't doing that much in Double-A, but promoted him to Triple-A and put him on my prospect list watch to see what he does. And he had a hot month of May, and good enough to call him up. And he's a super utility, as you can see here. Can play every infield position, which is phenomenal because anytime someone gets tired, which Francisco Lindor rarely gets tired. Even Mark Vientos is not getting as tired as you would think, but he's not a guy that steals bases, so there's not a lot of running and sprinting for him. But it's just nice to have this kind of versatility out of a player. And because he's an average player. I mean, he's almost average, literally across the board. I wish it was a little faster, but that's okay. He can still steal some bases and can run the bases pretty well. And he's a really solid defender at pretty much any position. Probably fits better at third or second base. First base, of course. I think he's overqualified for first, which is why you see kind of this right here. And shortstop, he's definitely not going to be as good in the range part there. But overall, he's a solid player. Should make his debut sometime this year. Or this month, really. I'm not quite sure exactly when. He's a pretty exciting player. I think he's had some really good If you see in short stints in AAA, he did hit over 1,000 OPS. Kind of struggled in 2023. It seems more like an average guy. And for some reason this year, he's exploding back onto the scene. So he got called up. Ended up putting Zach Short on waivers. I don't think he was going to pick him up, so I think he was just out of contract here. He was. That's why. So I went ahead and designated him for assignment. Waived him. You have to waive him when you do that. I believe, unless someone knows a way around that, I would like that, but I'm pretty sure he's got to clear waivers first, and which I think he will, and then I could just move him back down to AAA. Anything else? Oh, David Peterson. He's healthy now. Should be making his MLB debut pretty soon. Not the greatest games in the minors, but again, imagine he's shaking off a lot of rust. So hopefully, and he's in extreme grandma, which is excellent considering how good our shortstop is, Francisco Lindor. What else did I do? I did end up trading Aaron Bummer. What a bummer, I guess. He ended up being a bummer for me, even though he played well in Atlanta. And I was thinking if you can just get something like that. If you look at his stuff, so I'm not really sure where he went wrong with us. Just wasn't able to pitch well. Finished with us with an ERA of 12 and 12.1, which is kind of every time I put him in a game, he would either lose the lead or just get the game out of reach, which was disappointing because I think at times I put him in, it was either tied or we did have a lead, and then as soon as I pick him out, it's over. We're down by 4, we're down by 3. He kind of steadily got worse and worse every time I put him in. So I traded him away, not a big deal for me. I ended up getting second baseman Christopher. I think I got him because I liked this. I liked how, because I don't really remember having too many shortstops in our system. Aside from, I'm thinking we have Francisco Lindor, who should still be able to play for a while, but I don't remember any true 65 range kind of guys as far as shortstop is concerned in our system, or at least up in the higher minor leagues. So acquiring him to hopefully, because even if he ends up being average offensively, which is what it looks like he's going to end up being, unless I intervene and then try to send him to the development lab, which I would rather not do that on a 3.5 star guy. He's probably going to end up being a pretty average hitter, but his defense is what should carry him at a premium position like shortstop, especially. Even though right now we have him playing at second base, but I'll let the AI handle that. Has he even played for me yet? I can't have it. Just traded for him. So your demoted closer, Nathan. Oh, I didn't do that. The AI did that. So the AI does a lot. Is there a way to make it where it's just what I did? No, doesn't look like it. Actually, I think here you could history, transaction history, I believe. Oh, okay, that's every. Jeez. Oh my goodness, that's a lot. That is a lot. That's a lot more than I expected. Okay, well, that's just way more than I wanted to see. Yeah, but I wish this part here would just do what I actually did and leave the minor league transactions there. I guess you do want to see everything. So that's the kind of the important things I did here June 1st. Let's take a look at the lineup itself, see what it looks like. Leading off, we got Francisco Lindor. That's still a really good overall hitter. I think he's pretty much hitting where he's kind of where he was last year. I think he's our home run leader too with 11 home runs. But real solid year for us. I can't complain, especially his defense. As long as he keeps playing elite level defense, I'm pretty happy. Actually, where is that? Fielding stats. It's confusing. Oh, okay, never mind. Oh, he played. I put him at left field. I don't remember putting you at left field. When did I put you at left field? Put you at left field? I don't even remember doing this. I play every game, so I'm not quite sure where I put him. But as you can see here, he's doing phenomenal. 98%. 3 errors in the year so far. In 444 innings. He's really good. The 4.4 zone rating here. Well, -0.2 here. He's not a left fielder. I don't know why he was. Oh, I know why he was in left field. Someone got hurt, and according to his ratings, he can actually play left field. It's just kind of odd that he doesn't have that option. Not that I would move him to left field over shortstop, but just odd that he doesn't really. I guess he's never really played left field, but he could. So that's our leadoff hitter. Not doing bad. Staying consistent throughout the entire season, so I can't complain when you get guys that are consistently playing well. Batting number 2, and it could be a surprise for some of you, is first baseman Luke Ritter. I know the average is not up high, but this is because he's not in the left hand. He's a platoon. He doesn't bat versus lefties. He only bats righties, and he's really good against righties for some reason. But just can't hit a lefty to save his life. So left him in the lineup because he's capable of punishing left-handed hitters. So there's no reason to take him out because, as you can see, he's playing overall very average, or below average actually, with 642 OPS. Batting number 3 is center fielder Harrison Bader. Very happy to have him back. As you can see here, he's still hitting near 900 OPS. Been hovering around that pretty much. Kind of had a bad last few games. Just brought him down from the high 9s to 800. But overall, playing really well. Can't complain. And again, he's an elite level defender at center field. Gold Glove back in 2021. Batting number 4, and it is kind of a surprise because I didn't think he would be the one producing so many home runs. But he's currently tied for second with 9 home runs. And that's third baseman Mark Vientos. I think he's second with RBIs. So pretty cool little get here. I mean, they had him already. It wasn't like I got him, but pretty cool that he's playing. I mean, he's playing average as far as OPS is concerned, maybe slightly above average. But he is hitting home runs. On pace for 25, which is a solid number, especially for a guy with above average home run power. So it's not expected to be hitting, 35, 40 home runs. But in the 20s is definitely something that he should be able to do. And again, he's one of those guys that I think bats better against righties. I think his power versus righties is much greater than against lefties. No, it's actually better against lefties, but he's hitting better against righties right now. It's a 60 versus lefty. But for some reason, he's playing better versus right-handed pitching, even though he's more versus lefty. And batting number 5 is Drew Gilbert, our right fielder. I really like him a lot. I'm looking forward to the development lab because at the end of the year, I'm going to be able to. Because from what I've read, when you see there's still some potential left to fill, those are the guys that you want to put into the lab. You don't want to put him in for contact if his contact is already 60 out of 60. You want to put him in when he doesn't quite have everything filled out, especially something that's far away as 10, which means there's plenty of room to improve. If he even stays close, so if one of them could stay at 10, he's a perfect candidate for development lab because he's already, going to be well above average, a good player at 3.5 stars. And if you can just make him a little better, I could prove his speed too. He was a little faster too, but he's playing well. I think is he a straight up rookie? He is a straight up rookie. Yes, I like that. And he's at a University of Tennessee. I'm a big Tennessee fan. When I was growing up, Tennessee was not good at baseball. They were a football school. Now they're more of a baseball / basketball school. And football kind of is creeping back up there again. So it's nice to see that they're getting back up there in all sports, at least the ones that I care about. But yeah, Drew Gilbert is looking really good, especially for a rookie. I believe, yeah. So 43 days in the league. OPS is hovering around the high 700s, 800s. He's batted all over the place. I've had him at third, had him at leadoff, had him at cleanup. Now he's at fifth, so he's started off at ninth, I believe. So he's again extremely talented. He can play pretty much any outfield position at a good to elite level. Batting number 6 for us, second baseman Jeff McNeil, making his appearance back in the lineup. Every time I put him in lately, as you can see here, he's just kind of gotten a little better here. But when I put him in over the month of May, he just played good enough to earn a spot back. Or some guys just played really bad. I guess it depends how you want to look at it. Nothing exciting about him, other than he's pretty versatile. I could stick him at second or left, which I've done that so many times. It's so convenient to have a guy that can play second or out in the outfield like he can, especially when there's like a random injury in the middle of the game. And I'm glad he's back in the lineup, considering that we are. I didn't realize I was paying him $10 million. Holy crap! It's a lot of money for somebody that I don't really love. Anyway, I guess he's got paid for his past performance, not what he is now. Batting number 7 is our catcher, Francisco Alvarez. He's fallen off a bit as far as the average is concerned. As you recall, at one point he was up in the high 200s. Now he's down below 250. And the home runs are still pretty much there. Currently with 9 on pace for 25, which is an extremely similar season to last year. Actually, he's a little better than last year. Although he's going to strike out more if he keeps playing this way. But he's going to be playing a little more games. That could make the difference as well. At-bats projected at 489, last year 3. Okay, so I could see that. But he does. And he's also got the guy with a lot of potential that I could play with at the end of the year to help him get better. And he's got plenty of places I can help him get better. Whether it's better defensively at catching. His speed is so bad. There's no point in improving it. Even if he goes from 25 to 35, 40, it's still bad. I'm not gonna. I wouldn't waste it here. But he's still developing everywhere across the board, especially the power. If we can really tap into his power, or even his eye, either or, he's going to become a real dangerous, hopefully home run masher. Like I'm talking about, like 40 home runs plus every year for foreseeable future, because he's only 22. And batting number 8 is DHP Alonso. Been an extremely weird, disappointing season, because it's not like he's got a bad contact or even bad eye, but for some reason he's not getting on base. He's got an average of 161, and his home runs are well below his usual pace, and there's not much I can do other than, I keep putting him in. He's getting at bats, but it's well off his pace of 19. He's on pace for 19 in the last 2 years at least. I'm pretty sure more than that. Where's his batting stats? Yeah, 53, 16. 16 home runs. He was 25 last time, and that was in 57 games. So yeah, this is kind of odd at how bad he's doing right now. And batting number 9 is our left fielder, Brandon Nimmo. Again, another one of those guys I'm glad to have back. Put him back in probably what is more natural for him, left field. Well, he could do center field, but left field is, I guess, we'll have him play, and he's kind of an elite level defender there. But he's played solid throughout the year. Can't complain. Did drop off a little bit. I think the last few games have been a little rough for him, so you see his average drop and his OPS. But overall, still solid looking season. So not too much to complain, especially when you get elite defense, even if it's at an position like left field. But we're paying him $20 million, so you want to keep him in a lineup for that kind of money. And that's the lineup. Nothing too overly exciting. We can look at the organization and see who I also have. I almost called up Kevin Parada, but he's still, even though, because he's been absolutely just having a terrible month. It's probably one of his worst months. If you recall, he was really good at one point. I think it's because he struggles against righties. Do I have him against lefties? No, he was doing a little better lefties, but he was struggling against righties. So it's just per chance sometimes he gets put into games that Francisco's tired versus a right-hander. I did want to send him down, but he's out of option years. and I wasn't, and no trades were. I didn't see anybody offer me anything that was worthwhile, especially for a good defensive catcher. All the offers were pretty terrible, or they were like old guys that would try to dump off on me, and I wasn't interested in that. So unfortunately, I had to keep him in the roster. I wish I could have sent him down. Yeah, he wants to be in the starting lineup, but he's playing like crap. And then who else? We got this kid, as I said, we brought him up earlier. I don't know when he'll make his debut, but it'll be fairly soon. As you can see, he was crushing it in AAA. Which again, AAA and the majors are a different story. But it's nice to see that somebody that I traded for is now. I can click on this. Oh, you can click on this. I never knew that. Oh, oh, that's crazy. I did not know it did that. Okay. Well, now I know that. That's pretty cool. Tells you exactly who you traded, how much money they're making. I did not know you could do that just from that player screen. Oh, learned something new today. And then who else is over here that's on the bench? It's recalled Rowdy Jordan back up from AAA. I think he was playing well down there. Oh no, he's been here. He's just on the bench now. He's had a really rough month. He's now below average OPS wise. I've had a rough month. Hopefully he gets better. Um, he's going to be more of a platoon guy. More coming in when we get when someone's either tired. Not really see him getting too much at bats moving forward. But he is good against lefties, so as long as he keeps hitting his lefties, I'm pretty happy. He's second base against lefties. It's this kid that I called back up. Rylan Thomas called back up. He did make the team earlier in the year, but he was playing so bad. Look at that OPS, 324. So it was really bad. Average was 147. Wasn't doing anything. I gave him nine games to show himself, but at AAA he's been playing pretty well. AA he was playing pretty well. So we called him up, recalled him to see if he can. But again, he was another one of those surprise guys that I saw that he was good against lefties, just not against righties. Which you kind of see that a lot with young players. They're really good against one side and terrible on the other side. So some platooning here, hopefully to help make this team better. I am excited to get Kodai back, Singa. He did get roughed up in his first game, but it was the Dodgers. Of all the games to have him come back, he came back against the Dodgers. Played an okay 4 innings. I think it's the home run ball that hurt him the most that game. Yeah, 5 strikeouts still. Didn't do too bad, just unfortunate that it was against the Dodgers instead of somebody easier. But eased him in 4 innings. Didn't want to wear him off too much. Hopefully he'll go a little deeper moving forward. Hasn't played more than 5, or hasn't even played 6 innings all year yet. Jose Quintana, as you can see, still holding pretty well. 3.61. That's a good ERA. Anything between 3 and 4 is a good ERA. That's where you want most of your starters to hopefully fall in. So he's been steady all year and continues to stay steady for us. David Peterson, we got him back from injury. I do like him. He's got really good stuff. He's got good stuff. He's pretty much exactly what I would. Maybe if his movement was a little better, I would like that. I'd like to see it. 50 is okay. In control. Did struggle in the minor league rehab assignments. Both, especially the last one, really got knocked up a little, knocked around. But I'm hoping that's just rust and not really what we have coming here. He's an extreme ground ball guy, which is cool. Francisco Lindor will be able to help you there. But glad to have him back. Adrian Hauser, even though I made fun of him, his record is 500. He's got a good ERA at 3.69, so can't complain too much. Hopefully, continues that type of play. And then Jose Butto. Yes, record doesn't look good. He's 1-3 when he starts, but he's played pretty well. Did start off pretty rough for him against Atlanta, but then he actually I think he goes even back. I see even more. Regular season. I want to see. Did I already see every game? I can't remember. Is there a way to see every game? I never even tried to see individual games. I guess I can't. Oh, there we go. 2024 pitching stats. Probably game log would be the. It would be game log. There we go. I knew. If I kept trying. All leagues. Let's do Major League Baseball. It's always a pick for me. So let's see. Yeah, he came in. Had a rough beginning. As you can see, his ERA was 13.7, but he's gotten steadily better, including a really good game here against. I don't know why is it so tiny. This is so weird. Can't even see who it is. Who is this? Philadelphia. Had a really good game against Philadelphia. Went a little over 7 innings. The 10 strikeouts was what got me here, and no earned runs. So I was like, all right, I think we got our fifth starter, and he's been kind of steady around there, a little, kind of an average guy as far as his pitching stats are concerned. So I'm not so. As you can see here, the pitching staff is coming together, especially if David Peterson and Senga can both do what I expect them to do. And then the bullpen, Edwin Diaz, kind of a rough month. Through the last few games really hurt him because his ERAs are up in the. Even though he hasn't blown any saves, he's just giving up runs. But still earning the save, or in this case, a W. I'd like to see his ERA drop into the twos. Strikeout rate's phenomenal. I can live with that. Yaxel Rios. If you remember last month, I called him up, and he's been playing really well. Small sample size so far, just 11 innings, but that's a really good ERA. Not a strikeout guy, but he gets outs. So I can live with this. How was he doing? I called him up. He was playing okay. 3.29 is nothing phenomenal, but he was playing okay, and he's playing even better here. And nothing exciting here, so it's rather a surprise if you ask me. Jorge Lopez was already here. Who's a new kid? Oh, Tyler. He did come back up. And I ended up moving. I guess I ended up calling Tyler back up for the minors. He's been okay. I called him up in the middle of the month. Slowly improving here. Hopefully he can get a little better. I don't expect much from him after what I saw. And then I moved Sean from starting rotation to reliever, as he's just been kind of struggling all year. Look at that. Every game, pretty much, he's just giving up a home run, which is what's killing me. It's hard to win when you're giving up 2-run shots, 3-run shots. But it looks like he could be a good reliever. He's got really good stuff. But he's got good control, so it's kind of confusing why he can't seem to put it together and have much better performances than this. Hopefully he figures out in the bullpen. Because at this point, we're trying to head into the summer. As I said, we're only 2.5 games back of a wild card spot. So I'd like to head into the summer with acquiring some wins. Because at one point we did have, if you look at May, we would have a little section where we win. And then, of course, we had a lot of losses. But then we went on a good little roll here. We were winning. Look at that. Look at those wins. That is a lot of winning. From here, from the 15th to the 25th, we were doing really well. And then we all of a sudden just fell off again. 5 straight losses. So it's frustrating year when we keep going back and forth like that and can't play consistently. Let's take a look and see how my top prospects are doing. Pretty soon, every single minor league will be in play. So We'll even see how the minor league teams are doing. All players. I ended up moving Daniel Juarez to relief pitcher. He's not really cut out to be a closer. Currently in Double A, he's doing okay. 3.18 ERA. I don't know if I'll continue following him after the year is over. I added him because he was. Anytime I see a player of the week or player of the month as a prospect, I like to add them and follow them a little closer just to see what exactly they do. Like I said, I always call it Kevin Parada because he's absolutely destroying it. 982 in Double A, 1100 in Triple A. But he's just so underdeveloped and he's not providing defense. It's one thing if he was an elite defender and he was a little behind on offense, but it's kind of, he's still developing as a defender and he's behind on offense. So there's no point in rushing him because he's going to probably end up hitting like Thomas Nido anyway. So it's no point in starting his service time too early. Just I'll let him keep crushing it, and he's normal, so he's not pissed off or anything. First baseman Matt Mervis. He's again playing really well. Just no spot for him in the major team. If he was a different position, maybe, but there's really no spot for him in the majors right now. Still a player that I consider part of my future lineups. Once he, I think, fully develops, he's almost there. His power's a little behind. Once that reaches full power, he's unhappy. I can imagine probably because he wants to play in the majors. Yes, just did I have him in the majors this year? I did, and he did so bad that I had to pretty much return him back to the minors. Whereas, of course, now he's hitting really well. He's hitting 1125 currently for us, which is really good. But he had his chance and he kind of blew it. So it'll be a while, maybe an injury or something. Because no matter how bad Pete is playing, I'm not replacing Pete. Addison, we already know, I'll put him up in majors. Brett Baty. It's unfortunate that he has no versatility because he's playing pretty good. And I almost called him more. He almost deserved a call up a couple times this year. But he's just so one-dimensional. Because offensively, he's not that great. And defensively, he's not really that great either. So until there's either an injury or he's just playing out of his absolute mind or have no choice, he's probably going to eventually get traded, to be honest. I don't see a spot for him on the major league roster. He's kind of getting blocked off. He's got 3 option years left. That's good. That means I can see a few spring trainings with him and then send him back down. But unless he develops, unless his talents improve a little bit more, it'll be tough. And then in Double A, we have left fielder Luis Angel Acuna. Still playing well. Nothing phenomenal. He'll definitely, if he keeps playing like this, he'll be in Double A all year, and he'll be ready for Triple A next year. But right now, there's just no point in rushing him, and we're so outfield heavy. It's just, I'd rather see him develop. As I said, Jet Williams is currently injured. Still got 2 more weeks before we start seeing him play again. But again, like this guy is I think he's going to be a better offensive player, and he's going to be a better defender than Acuna. And he's, I think, better here as well. So there's really, at least he's got a spot. I think multiple positions. What is his ratings here? Yeah, because he can also play infield, so that he'll probably have a roster spot somewhere eventually when he's ready. And then our right fielders, we got Drew, as we know, is already in major leagues. He's crushing it this year for us. Ryan Clifford, again, this kid I've been following because he just crushes home runs. He was quiet, and then 1 home run, then 2 home runs, and 4 home runs. And he's done this all season. If you go take a look at his stats, he had 13 in 27 games. And now he's got 10 in 22 games. This dude is just smashing home runs. It's kind of insane. Didn't call him up, didn't promote him to AAA, just because he was more average. I think it'd just be a little too much above his level. and he's only 20. But he's still got time to get better. At least he's got some versatility. He's played first a little, so he could play first. Maybe a poor man's third baseman. This isn't too good, but he's got a decent enough arm to at least give it a shot. And and then Stanley Consuegra. I believe I demoted him because I might have demoted him a long time ago. I've just recently demoted him. It's just been pretty bad. He's been bad most of the season with us now, so back to AAA he goes, where he was playing much better. If he can have another good month down there, he may make his way back up, but I don't see it now. He's probably going to end up finishing the season in AAA or AA. Actually, AAA, I don't move him down. So, again, he's a pretty good player, but just struggled this year. He's still young, so time to develop and get better. And that's it for the prospects. So that's it for this video. We're heading into the summer with still a good chance to at least make the wild card, like I said. Cincinnati's in it currently with a losing record. So if you can just hang in there and start stringing some more, 2 wins and 1 loss, 2 wins and 1 loss type of deals, and then split some 4-game series 2-2. Now we have a real chance to at least make the playoffs. Division, you can forget about it. Atlanta's running away with it, 42-15. So that's it for this video. Thank you for watching.